Disclaimer. The information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
Hello everyone, and welcome to our 72nd public meeting for testimonials here on Monday, November 14th, 2022. This is the broadcast of the Keshe Foundation, Spaceship Institute Education Department, and part of the public teachings in English. My name is Rick Cremond, and I'll be a host today, along with Mark as host and co-host. And I think we're ready to dive into today's meeting. In fact, we have quite a few testimonials that we can present today, and I'm sure there'll be more pop up as we go along in this live broadcast as well. And I remind people here, if you have something that you have that you might have experienced in the recent past about the plasma technology that you can share with us, then this is a good avenue to do so. Okay, I thought maybe we could start with a video. There's a video on the remote use of the pain pen after the remote flight testing program. I haven't watched this video yet, but we'll get into it now. It's about 5 minutes long. Okay, let's see what it's about.
Boa noite, pessoal. Eu venho aqui fazer um relato de experiência que aconteceu com meu tio e com a utilização da tecnologia. Então vamos lá. Meu tio, que tinha uma saúde muito boa e sem problema algum, após ir para a fila da picadinha pela segunda vez, acabou sofrendo AVC e perdeu os movimentos das pernas e do braço e mão direita. Após esse ocorrido, começaram-se as idas a hospitais e tratamentos constantes e com recuperação muito lenta. Depois de alguns meses, tentando voltar a andar, sofreu uma queda e quebrou o fêmur. Passou por cirurgia, colocou placa e parafuso e só conseguia ficar deitado. Não conseguia nem assentar na cama. Dores intensas e constantes. Depois de algumas semanas nessas condições, meu tio falou que estava muito cansado e desistindo da vida. A dor de ouvir essa frase tocou profundamente meu coração. Depois de ouvir meu tio dizer isso, no mesmo instante me veio a ideia de convidá-lo para participar do teste de voo pelo celular. O segundo teste que fizemos no grupo de discussão. Não foi muito fácil, porque meu tio é muito humilde, mora no interior de Minas e nem tem conhecimento nenhum de como lidar com o celular e Telegram. Mas depois de minha insistência, ele foi auxiliado pela esposa e conseguiu participar do teste. Expliquei a ele que deveria apenas ouvir tudo em silêncio até o final e no dia seguinte conversaríamos. E assim foi feito. No dia seguinte, bem cedo, meu tio conseguiu assentar na cama e estava bem mais disposto. No segundo dia, após o teste, meu tio conseguiu sentar-se na cadeira de rodas e todo feliz por isto. Foi incrível. Fiz uma caneta da dor para meu tio e alguns emplastos com gans de CV1 e enviei água de CV1 também para borrifar no ambiente. A encomenda que foi entregue 3 dias depois que ele havia passado pelo teste. Meu tio ainda sentia muita dor no braço por causa do esforço que fazia para sair da cama e ir para a cadeira de rodas. Após receber a encomenda e utilizar a caneta, recebi a ligação de meu tio dizendo que a dor só parava quando usava a caneta. Começou a borrifar a água no ambiente da casa e usar os emplastos diariamente. Hoje, após um mês do ocorrido, meu tio está bem feliz e disposto. Até consegue varrer o terreiro, mesmo assentado na cadeira de rodas. Ele me pediu outra caneta da dor e sorri com alegria em agradecimento. Bom, termino aqui meu relato de forma emocionada por poder ter sido instrumento nas mãos do Criador e poder levar o alívio e sorriso para outra pessoa através da tecnologia do plasma e dos ensinamentos e amor do Sr. Keshe. Eterna gratidão, Sr. Keshe.
Boa tarde, tranquilo, Deus abençoe. Sobre as dores, tudo que eu sentia muita dor. Aí depois que eu passei a usar a caneta e os emplastos, para mim melhorou 100%, estou me sentindo bem, não estou sentindo quase dor nenhuma mais não.
Well, that was a lovely video. I feel like I should read part of it back in English here. Maybe I will.
Yeah, what a reversal in condition to wanting to give up on life to now being happy and productive and moving probably out of the wheelchair, hopefully eventually.
It does look that way, doesn't it? Yes. So let me just quickly read through. I think it's important to get the English, even though most of us, I'm sure, were able to read it. But maybe some people weren't able to read it well with the iPhone or something with small text. So it goes, my uncle, who had very good health and no problems at all after going to the vaccination line for the second time, ended up suffering a stroke and lost the movements of his legs, right arm, and hand. After the event, hospitals visits and constant treatment began with very slow recovery. After some months trying to walk again, he suffered a fall and broke his femur. He underwent surgery, had a plate and a screw put in, and could only lie down. He couldn't even sit up in bed. Intense and constant pain. After a few weeks in this condition, my uncle said he was very tired and was giving up on life. The pain of hearing this phrase touched my heart deeply. Let me just make sure I got this. Okay. And go to the next. After hearing my uncle saying that, I immediately had the idea of inviting him to participate in the mobile flight test. For those that are wondering, the mobile flight test is part of the flight test that Mr. Keshe was operating in the Linz facility and worldwide as well. The second test...
Or, Rick, could that be that they replayed your July 24th, was it, reactor group? They said they were doing that within the Brazilian group.
Ah, that might be, yes, right. Okay, thank you, Mark. That was what, July 27th, I think it was.
Okay, yeah, I know it was July. Not sure the exact date, but I think this is what they were doing because the second test we did in the open discussion group.
Right, okay. Very good, thank you for that. Okay, yes, it mentions the second test we did in the open discussion group. It was not very easy because my uncle is very humble, lives in the countryside of Minas Gerais, and has no knowledge of how to deal with mobile phones and telegram. But after my insistence, he was helped by his wife and managed to join the test. I explained to him that he should just listen to everything in silence until the end, and in the next day we would talk about it. And so it was done. Next day, early morning, my uncle managed to sit up in bed and was in a much better mood. The second day after the test, my uncle was able to sit up in his wheelchair and was very happy about it. It was amazing. I made a pain pen for my uncle and some patches with the Cup of Life 1 GANs, and also sent him a Cup of Life 1 plasma water to spray in the room. The package was delivered 3 days after he had gone through the test. My uncle still felt a lot of pain in his arm due to the effort he made to get out of bed and sit into the wheelchair. After receiving the package and using the pen, I got a call from my uncle saying that the pain only stopped when he used the pen. He started spraying the water around the house and using the patches on a daily basis. Today, 1 month after the event, my uncle is very happy and cheerful. He can even sweep the yard, even in his wheelchair. He asked me for another pain pen, and I smiled with joy and gratitude. Well, I finish here my report in an emotional way. To have been able to be an instrument in the hands of the Creator and to be able to bring relief and smile to another person through the plasma technology and Mr. Keshe's teachings and love. Eternal gratitude to Mr. Keshe. So that's the... And also it says the following picture was taken 2 days after the report we just heard, demonstrating that the knowledge seeker is already able to stand up using a walker.
This testimonial have a date. If it was before the reactor group, then we would know that it's not the reactor group test flight that they were referring to. I thought I saw something about 21. Again, maybe not.
Yep, not sure about that.
I was thinking that this person touched her uncle through the soul. And I was thinking how Mr. Keshe said he's fathered many children this way. With women that couldn't get pregnant, that when they feel loved and cared for, again, we know the GANS accepts your intentions as well, but this idea of that she gave from her soul because she said she had felt such a strong emotion when he was reported giving up on life.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's a clue that how we can activate that force is it requires a deep emotional integration or response that's part of it, or some emotional event that spurred it to fruition. Like sometimes we are put in difficult circumstances in order for the best of our abilities to come out.
Is that empathy? Do we use that sort of term here in the foundation? I think we do.
Is it what again? What was the word?
Empathy, where you could feel the sort of conditions of the other, perhaps even the tree or something else we're looking to sense their emotion, their soul.
I think that's a natural attribute of the essential self, or the soul of the man, let's say.
But I was just thinking of the way Mr. Keshe said that he, I guess through his soul, he helps them to feel loved and that they're cared for and they're a beautiful, loving person, or whatever he's doing in that interaction. And then all of a sudden the woman is able to get pregnant. He didn't use any GANs or anything. He just used some sort of interaction. And he said that they needed to feel that they were cared for and they were loved. And it seems like in this situation, there was a lot of that. She brought him into the... Yeah. She made certain tools for him to use. So
yeah. I mean, a person that's in that circumstance, they kind of get into a downward spiral. And once you're in bed and you can't do the things you used to be able to do, like just simply sweep the leaves in the yard, or it's a simple act, but at least then you're contributing. You feel like you're useful, and you're out in the sun and you're interacting with others, and it's part of a lovely day. But if you're stuck in bed and in pain, constantly, moment by moment by moment, of pain and suffering and pain and suffering and endless pain and suffering. And if you don't see an end to that pain and suffering, then it's just not, you come to a point where you figure there's not much sense of living as in that condition. If you can't see your way out of it, and the medical profession's already done the best they can, and maybe the next step is even more painkillers to the point where you're finally you keel over from all the drugs and painkillers. And that's the way they want you to go sometimes, basically, in hospitals and hospices and so on. Old people's homes, just give them an extra dose of painkiller and send them on their way, because they've been in so much pain and suffering, and probably complaining about it, or suffering silently even. And I don't know if it could be looked at as a compassionate act, but on the other hand, a truly compassionate act might allow that person to heal themselves in a more, deeper manner, and carry on with their life, and maybe go on to do some great things, or at least connect with their soul in a more profound way, and have a better passing due to all that interaction.
Right, and what not to be a good thing, but yet the end of the story seemed to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
He certainly up to a new dimension, and obviously the elevation of sitting up almost immediately, standing up, being very positive in this condition. Yeah, that's
a literal elevation, getting out of bed, elevating oneself physically, mentally and emotionally as well, of course, but an actual physical elevation. Where it's a big effort just to sit up. That was a major milestone, and then to get into the actual wheelchair and to be able to sit in that is another milestone. And being able to stand up without the wheelchair with a walker, that again is the next step of elevation.
right. And all that time, I'm sure she was giving from her soul. And this is what caused it. Mr. Keshe says, we believe sometimes more in the Ganses than we do in our own souls.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think she was giving and hoping and wishing for that condition to change as well. And the Gans, and he was wanting that same wish,
mm-hmm.
in a way.
Yeah, he hadn't totally given up, obviously. It wasn't a hopeless case sort of scenario, and as it can be, and if it had escalated any further, it probably would have been. Very nice, lovely to see. Yeah, well, we talk about Ganses a lot, but we are big bags of Gans, basically. And that's, when we activate that, that's part of, like what we saw here.
Our superconductivity factor.
Yep, and that connection that GANS has with other GANs is our connection with others, and we can, remind them about that connection. And once they find that connection within themselves, that they actually are connected to others, and others do care, and have that, it's that sharing space that makes it feel like you're not the only one that's involved in the process, and that pain and suffering can be helped and alleviated and
touched.
Yeah.
And of course, these bags of ganses are all conveniently encased within a vacuum condition, which of course gives us even more capabilities that we could potentially tap into, right?
Yep, we have our own reactors, and we have the even the radioactive components inside of our own bodies that are working on a constant everyday basis. What if we could consciously organize the parts we wanted for certain things that we needed to do, perhaps, where we needed some extra energy or some extra giving of our soul, maybe to the world leaders, so we can reach out and touch them, let them know who they are and in reality.
Yeah, remember that old cards where you would open the deck of cards and ask someone to pick a card for a card trick or something? Now, apparently, we're going to learn how to pick a cosmic ray or field to interact with.
Interesting idea.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if we could have a deck of cards with all the cosmic rays. And
you'd probably need a very large deck in the way we think of things, but maybe not so.
it may not be in the physicality either, contrary to our wishes. Okay, well, let's carry on here. See, what else do we have? We have another video, but perhaps, let's see if that's...
Well, there are a number of participants, attendees as well. All have microphones if they have a short story they'd like to share.
Yeah, it'd be good to open up the floor here to anyone that's... We'll just allow everyone to talk who wishes to.
Many have come in while, it's been a constant flow of people coming in.
Yeah, if anyone has any particular stories they would like to tell, now is a good time.
Well, I have a short testimonial that I'd like to share. It's not as dramatic as the one we just heard, but regardless, it's an interaction of the plasma and an elevation of the soul. So a friend I've had for probably 45 years, we worked together in the arms manufacturing. He was an electrician. I was a machine operator. So we've been in touch over the years. He retired from it. Of course, they quit me. In other words, fired me. But anyway, we've been in touch, and he had a knee replacement a couple of years ago, and now his hips, one knee replaced, and now apparently his hips have been acting up in the recent period. So I've been talking to this couple about the technology for quite a long time, and it's always they're pretty devout Catholics, so they were really not receptive to it and thought it was more of a fairy tale, and the usual reasoning. But anyway, and I've given him, when his knee was bad, say several years ago or whenever it was, I had gotten one of those knee pain pads. I think I actually got it from Arizona. I don't remember exactly. But it might have been, but that never worked for him. Anyway, he went subsequently to have one of his knees replaced. So apparently he's thinking, and again, this is just the understanding I'm getting from him, that the knee is, because you can't replicate it 100%, it's obviously throwing the hip off. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not, or he needs the other knee done, perhaps. But anyway, it's a pretty severe pain developing in the hip, and I think a couple of weeks ago, he was offered a hip replacement for the solution. So I had talked to him and I said, well, I'm going to be up in that area on Friday, 3 days ago. I said, I'll stop by and we'll make a couple pain patches. And I made the ones that I saw Gianni give us an example of, which is very simple. And I've used it on the tooth as well, but it's just 2 of those cosmetic pads where you take CO2 plasma water and zinc plasma water, preferably with the amino acids and everything else. And just on one pad, you'd spray 3 of the CO2, 3 of the zinc, and on the other pad, you could spray 6 of the CO2 and 6 of the zinc. So you have a 3 to 6. So I made 2 patches in about 45 seconds, 3 to 6 and then 3 to 9. And he wore them. That was Friday night. He probably put them on. And Saturday morning when he woke up, I guess he took his usual pill that he takes. And then as the day wears on, he said usually about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, he has to take another pill. Well, the first one is a Tylenol. And then in the afternoon, he has to take an Aleve. About 2 p.m., he said pretty regularly the pain really starts to hammer in about that time. And then, of course, he takes one at night for sleeping. And again, I guess some sort of pain medication. I'm not sure what that one is. So he woke up Saturday, took the first pill, didn't need the second pill, and did take the bedtime pill because he said he's having trouble sleeping. So that would be Saturday night. Sunday morning, didn't take the morning pill, and I spoke to him at probably 8 o'clock at night, and he hadn't taken the afternoon pill either. So it immediately interacted with the hip. And now he seems to be, he says, hey, did you make this? He says, yeah. He says, you, and I've been offering to show him many things, but they were quite standoffish. And it's only a 2-day report, of course, but it seems, I guess he's been dealing with it for a couple of months or more. And you certainly cannot keep taking Tylenol every day because that's a real strain on your kidneys or whatever it recommends it on the bottle. Aspirin either, correct? Over a longer period of time, but it seemed to interact immediately and effectively.
Well, that's good news. Good news story.
We made the 2 patches, and apparently his wife tried it because she has some sort of pinched nerve or something. I guess that happened recently in her back. So when I talked to him yesterday evening, he said, well, I said, did Pat try it for any? And she said, yeah, but it doesn't work. It didn't work for her. It doesn't work for her. Nothing works for her, he says. So I'm thinking emotions.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Because, of course, we know there's way more behind all these front scenes, right, Rick? When you're dealing with these sort of things. But anyway, so they described what they did, and for some reason, he put the 2 patches on her back right next to each other. And because she was saying, oh, nothing ever works for me. And So I said, wait a minute, you didn't even apply them correctly. I said, one should be on your belly, opposite of where the pain is on your back, so that they can interact, generally speaking. So I guess they were going to try it last night and see if it worked for her. But he was quite enthralled with it. Took me 45 seconds to make the patches.
Did you put them inside of like a baggie or some kind of sealed
I
plastic?
recommended.
Pardon me?
I recommended he did not do that.
So they were just like a cloth, or?
Yeah, they were a round cosmetic pad, the type women use to remove makeup sometimes.
Oh, yes,
or
right.
Rub your face, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I said they work when they're dry, so no problem,
Mm-hmm. I see.
And it interacted immediately. I thought the plastic would interfere, so.
So there's a lot of noise on your microphone there, Mark. Are you beating it up or something?
No, my hand was sliding around it for some reason.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say something earlier, but I didn't have a chance.
No problem.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that was a very delightful story. And the reason I was up in that area is because I went to see my sister, who is, again, in a facility because of a measles thing from back 40-something years ago, probably, or more. And I actually tried the very similar test with her. She wears a helmet because of having seizures. And, so I just put the 3 sprays on one side and 6 sprays on the other of each. There seemed to be an immediate interaction of more attention. So, because I had noticed in the recent period, she wasn't as attentive, and I think that's because she probably had to get the things that they're giving everybody these days. And that caused a little bit of an interaction of some sort. And again, she's brain injured and so on and so forth. But I thought that was very interesting that happened before. And I had used that same patch recently and a couple weeks ago on 2 different teeth that were giving me pain. And one took a little longer, but the other one just took overnight. So they definitely function in many cases, and it's certainly worth a try, less than a penny. Well, maybe not, depending on how much the cosmetic pads have gone up in the recent period.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's a great report. Thank you, Mark. Anybody have any questions about that? All right. Well, I think, Stephanie, did you have something that you wanted to talk about?
Yes. 1 hour ago, I was calling my best girlfriend, and she had really problems with her shoulders. And since months, and she was at the doctors and nobody couldn't help her. And I was doing 1 month ago, it was my 1 month ago, it was my last call with her, and I gave her 2 pads with different ganses to put it on the shoulder, in the front and in the back. And on the pads are nano-coated coils in the front, and the pads had CO2 zinc. And yes, I think that was it. So And it was 1 month ago, and we hadn't called since then. And 1 hour ago, I was asking her, how's about your shoulder? And she said, well, it's really the pain is gone. I couldn't move the shoulder like before. That was a problem, but the pain was gone. And the pain was so hard that she couldn't sleep the whole, a few months. She couldn't sleep. And it was like somebody put a knife in her shoulder. And that is gone, she told me. And she has a dog, a German Shepherd. And she had this shepherd since 1 year. It came from Romania and it was in a shelter. And this dog, since it was here, had diarrhea every day. And she has the same problem like me. She has fatigue and no energy and is weak, and she couldn't go with the dog. She had a dog walker, and her boyfriend, before his work, he went with the dog and after his work. But when she was alone with the dog and the dog had diarrhea, she has to clean the rooms after that, because she couldn't go outside with him. She had no energy. So, and this was, I told you, 1 year ago, she had this dog, and I was made her a collar with 3 coils and CO2, zinc, and oh my God, I didn't remember. I think a mix between CH3 and a little bit copper plasma. Yeah, and I was asking her, what's with your dog? And she said, the diarrhea is gone. Yeah, and that's perfect. And since 1 month, I gave her this stuff, and since 1 month, the dog has no diarrhea anymore. And her pain, so she couldn't move her shoulder because there was something in the shoulder, like osteophyten. I don't know the word. But she couldn't move, but the pain is gone, and the pain was so terrible. She said, like somebody put a knife in her, and she was doing every therapy, and 1 hour ago I had this nice testimonial from her. So, and something else I would, I was making coils, and I was nano-coated the coils in my Agni Otra fire. So I had to give you some pictures. I don't know if it works. What I have to do here on the mobile phone? You have to give me the screenshot as a screen, or what? How do I do
I
it?
understand that you have to bring the picture up first and then hit the share button. But Rick has gone through this more than once. But I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah, it should work.
No, I go into my album and click on the photo.
Yeah, get your photo up first and then do the share.
Okay.
I'll stop sharing. It'll make you easier for you to share as well.
Yeah, okay. There's the first picture now. Oh. Moment. It's away. So, okay, the first picture I have here, and you're in a small, in the corner.
Okay, we don't see it yet, so you have
So now I have to click on Freigeben, Bildschirm. Oh my God. No, that's...
You should have a zoom, like it's probably a green share screen or share button.
Wait. Zoom, okay. I try. Now you see.
Yes, I believe we do.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know how to do it. So, this is the coil on the fire, and do you see something in the middle? An animal or something like this? For example, a cat in the middle. I give you the next photo to moment. Photo. So this is the next photo. So you see, it's a cat.
Okay, I could
You see
see
it?
it. I could see it as a cat.
Okay, that's the first. I didn't remember. I was just taking the pictures
I was thinking
during.
of a fox at first, but a cat.
I
Yeah,
think
okay.
the long legs sticking out in front, if that's what she's trying to.
These legs here as well. I mean,
Yeah.
Sorry?
it's
Yeah,
probably
the leg.
a angry cat it's burning up in there.
Really
Yeah,
long.
whatever. I was just taking these pictures, and I didn't see that in this moment. But after this, I was looking up the pictures because I just want to have one because I like this nice colors. It's because of the cover. It's a little bit greenish and bluish. And yeah, then I see that. And that's not the moment. I have to put the cable on it. So, and now the next. So here. Oops. Okay. So you see something?
Yeah, we see the other picture now.
Yeah, you see an animal. The next one. It's on the right side.
Looks like another cat to me, but I'm
Yeah,
of
like
seeing all
a
cats
tiger.
now.
Okay, I will here. Oh, sorry. Zoom. There, it's like a tiger. So then the next one, it was here. So do you see something? A little, I don't know the word in English, gnome. It's on the right corner.
I see.
You see? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I make the next picture because then can see everyone. So something like a gnome. So next was unbelievable. Here, this is beautiful. Zoom. So you see something in the middle, in the above.
A little unicorn.
Yeah, right. Cool. And near the unicorn on the right side, there is something like a man with a bird, hair on the chin. So the next picture that everyone can see. So a unicorn. And this man with a hair on his chin.
What I was seeing was something entirely different, which was this head here, the outline of a head with an open mouth. It's like a bird head with an open mouth and flames coming out.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't even see the unicorn until you pointed that out. Then I could see the unicorn. But this is the guy's arm here and the body down here, and that's the head.
But
I'm not seeing what you're seeing.
Okay, go back to the previous picture. So we have these two, because it's all a matter of where your attention goes. If you could go to the previous picture that doesn't have the outlines on it and the words.
Sorry, I don't know what you mean.
Can you go back to the last picture that doesn't have the outlines on it, just the picture?
Okay. Yeah, but I know what you mean. A bird with the open...
Can you go back to that picture for me?
Yeah. Wait. This is... Ta-da. So... So this is without the lines.
Right. So what I was seeing when you said, what do you see in the upper right you mentioned or something, I saw the outline of, can you see my arrow on the picture here or no? Maybe it doesn't show up.
I can.
It's only on live. Okay, so the head, that white on the upper right with the green outline on it would be sort of a bird-like head with an open mouth.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yellow flame coming out, and the neck goes down into the green arm and the green body that's below that green outline head. So I was seeing sort of this strange alien being with fire coming out, almost like a, some sort of fire-breathing lizard or something like that, or bird or something. And
it does have a kind of a duck head.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah, sure. I can see it too.
So,
but do you see the unicorn too now? With the horns?
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, it's a lovely unicorn, and it seems to be like they're both interacting in a way. So we can see all kinds of different things in images like this, and that's the thing about it. It all depends on what you see and what the meaning you are getting out of it. Because,
right. I know.
Whether they're there objectively or not is difficult to say. It's more the experience that you received at that time. And to tell everybody else about it is the same as seeing Jesus in your toast. This is the famous one. Oh, this is Jesus in my toast, and my bread that's toasted. It has the image of Jesus. Can't you see it? And someone else would go, I suppose I could if I had to,
that's right.
Maybe they will, or so on. But it's part of the way our brain operates, and sometimes there's some interesting things that can be done with that as well.
Yeah, because I have made more pictures, and I was looking at everyone because some I saw directly, the first two, and then I think, I will look up the others. But just these 5 pictures, and then the other one is maybe 30 pictures that I made. I have seen nothing. Mm-hmm. But it was for me. I have never seen such stuff, and I found it interesting, and that's because I just wanted to share it. But you are right, sure. Everyone sees another thing, maybe. But for me, it was the first time that it was so beautiful, and so that I have seen it directly.
Really? This is very interesting. And who's to say it's not entities, energies interacting in some dimension we don't quite understand? But we know in the last workshop, he said that the dean, who is here with us, I think, is going to be installing a camera, and we're actually going to show the actual transmutation.
Dean.
At the at Linz.
Sorry,
yeah.
I'm listening. I was writing something at the time, so sorry, I'm present now. What was the question?
Mention his name, the guy shows up.
What was the question? Sorry.
Sorry to invoke you here, Dean. We were just in the middle of a magical incantation here.
Yeah, I've been looking at the pictures. They're very intensive. They are. They have many wonderful colours and interactions. You can see that are definitely they have a field strength. They have the ability to connect. That's for sure. Yeah.
And it's Agni Otra. I made it here on my point where I live on the when the sun is going down at the hour, at the minute, and at the second. And then I started to make the fire. And I was energizing with these coils. I don't know if you know about Agni Otra, but it's a ritual. And this fire, the good vibes go kilometers, miles across your fire, and it's an energetical stuff. And you can use the ash afterwards. You can.
What is the name again of the?
Agni Otra. You made it in the sun down, but really on the point of the second where you live, and on the point of the sun rising. Agni Otra, and you use special poo. It's from Indian cows, the dried poo. Yeah, and you burn it, and then you put some rice, and you have a mantra, and put some rice during the mantra, and it's cleaning energy, it's healing you, and whatever. It's a ritual, and in this I was making my coils, nano coating, and afterwards I used some from this from this ashes and put it with ganses between the two coils. I was making a mana. I don't know if you know a mana. It's like an energy thing. And that's because I put it not in the normal coating and not with my normal fire. I was nano coating it. This is ritual Agni Otra. Maybe someone knows about it.
I've heard about this ritual. I think I've actually taken part in one once where a group of people did this, and it was exactly what you said. They collected this dung from a particular place, and then you burn it or something, and then it's supposed to release these whatever it is. I don't know. I'm not really into this. That brings about a condition where, as you said, to bring harmony and peace and to heal. It's done when the sun's setting or when the sun's rising. So and people do. It's like any ritual. They bring about different thoughts and intentions. So the real ritual is within inside yourself. It's that soul interaction that you put the intention into this tool, and you start to manifest beings, as you see on the screen right now, where you're interacting with different dimensions, I suppose.
Right. It's like GANs, and afterwards you can use the ashes for healing. You can eat a piece, a knife. Whatever, you can eat this ash, or you can put it on your plants, and it heals depressions. The ritual, and I do it sometimes because I like it, and then was my idea to put the nanocoils in it.
It's the sort of thing that many people might find a little bit strange, because you're talking about using elements and conditions that people wouldn't normally do. However, it can be explained through the Ganses, as you said, where you're creating an environment where you are basically creating, I suppose, a nano-material of some description, and you're using that to interact with the environment. So yeah, I'm sure it has, well, I know it has very many healing properties, like all these rituals do. But however, it's the interaction of the elements, but the real interaction is your beautiful soul that's interacting and causing about a condition of giving, and other people, then other souls will receive this beauty that you're putting out.
Yeah, and for healing. Many talk the ritual heals them from depressions and whatever, and yeah.
And maybe this is just another way of another culture using the matter state. Again, you said rice and poo and this and that to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man.
Yeah, and from the holy cows. You know, in India, these are the holy cows, and the poo from them.
We call it dung, cow dung.
Yeah, but from the holy cows, you know, the Indians love their cows, and cows went through the streets, and they are holy.
Right, but they probably keep it as some sort of a mystical or a magical thing where Mr. Keshe is opening up the understanding of the creation.
Think also of the Egyptians, and they had the dung beetle was one of their favorite icons, actually, and it makes the ball of dung and pushes it around. Basically, it's this very. It's called a dung beetle. It's a bug that
I know.
pushes a ball of dung around, and it is considered very holy in the realms of the Egyptian literature.
But you don't mean the scarabaeus. It's another.
Scarab is a dung beetle, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Right, and I think the dung beetle, Mr. Keshe, follows the center line of the universe. This is what the Egyptians believed too, I think, as well. This is why they made it some sort of, and I don't know how that understanding comes about, but I thought I heard Mr. Keshe say that at one point.
Mm-hmm. And next, what is next? So on Wednesday, I will tell you something about my crickets and the the Universal Cup and whatever, but not today. Thank you.
Maybe in the plasma group, you mean? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Let me correct myself. Maybe it's what the Egyptians thought, not necessarily Mr. Keshe.
And I have, one is a cup you have done, Mark. I have done it too. I can share it here with the coils from Gianni. Just have a look at it. Where is it? Moment, because I have done it too. I told you. And yeah, it was remarkable. In a few hours, 2 hours, it was really a lot of GANs with these coils. Oh my God, where is it?
I see Rick with the background photo has us all under the dome of Gianni in a way.
Oh, I don't find it. I will show it on. Here I have. Moment. Zoom. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just after 2 hours. You see a lot of cancer.
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah.
snowstorm in there.
Yeah, just want to show you because Mark has
I see it.
one.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That technique is definitely produces a lot of GANs with those kind of coils.
Yeah, but we don't have to look after the ganses. We have to look after the fields. But I love the ganses. Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Thank
well, you learned a new skill today of sharing, and you're getting good at it already.
Right.
Yeah, good.
But no, just on my mobile phone. I don't know how to do it on my MacBook. But okay, maybe I've learned. Thank you.
Same basic deal, but it should be a little easier on your MacBook actually. So you have more windows you can play with. And just get the window up that you want to share, and then do the share screen, and select the window.
Yeah, I tried it once, but it was just my whole screen. But it's no theme for now.
You got
Thank you.
other selections under share screen with your MacBook. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let me show just briefly that image that I used for the for our background image today. This was the actual image, and I thought it was kind of profound in a way. One guy reaching up with a ladder, and it might be Johnny at the top there. I'm not sure, but one of them I think is him. And they still have to finish part of this, the very top of the dome there. So one's reaching up, the other's reaching down, and it just seems like one of those otherworldly sort of profound moments. Kind of like that picture of God with his the fingers going down, the hand going up, or whatever it is, of hand of God.
Yeah, I had the emotion of being inside the dome when I first saw, and more than looking at a picture, let's say. I really had a deeper emotion of being inside the dome.
Mm-hmm. Looking out at space. Woo. Nice feedback.
Perfect. Sorry. I don't know. Oh my God.
Somebody's speakers are on too loud.
Okay, I thought that was your system, Rick. I was going to say, what a nice time to have a reverb space.
I don't think it was mine, but it's my...
it was Stephanie. I muted one of her mics.
Okay, that's it. 2 mics will do that.
Yeah, sorry, I had both on and then, but now I have closed my mobile phone.
There, you learned 2 things today already.
I know what it's okay.
So we're finding sharing is easy and elevating. The pictures were beautiful stuff. Thank you for sharing all that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Ooh.
Okay, anybody else have anything they'd like to bring forward at this point in our broadcast? No special intimate stories of your interactions with GANs and the tiny miracles that occur, or other, it doesn't have to be with GANs, we keep bringing up GANs, but it's really, as we mentioned, we are the bags of GANs that can be activated. Okay, well, we've got another video, so let's have a look at that now, of the effects of the plasma technology on frost. Let me get that lined up. I haven't seen it yet, but I skimmed through it. It looked interesting. Let me see if I have any background on it here from well, it's experiments and results, tests and results in agriculture with the Keshe Foundation technology made by knowledge seekers of the Brazilian community. Once again, Brazil shows up. Okay, let me share it properly. Okay, this is about 15 minutes, so kick back and have a look here, and away we go.
Nós estamos aqui numa região que a temperatura aqui alterna muito nessa época do ano, né? Então nós temos geadas e a situação complica para a parte rural, principalmente, né? Que muitas perdas têm existido aqui. Essa geada aconteceu agora, do ano, a mais fria que teve foi aqui. Inclusive, na região de Itapetininga foi 2,1, e na nossa região aqui foi menos ainda que 2,1. Esse aí é um exemplo que foi registrado aí na região aí, né, o trigo ele suporta muito bem o frio tudo, mas tem situações que realmente ele queima e prejudica a produção. Então isso aí já é uma foto mostrando também o que aconteceu aí ao redor aqui na região. Aí, também próximo de um milho, também queimou muito esses milhos aí, aqui foram camadas de gelo que formou realmente na região também afetada aí. Aí também continua mostrando todo queimado essa região aí também, é afastado da cúpula aqui, que foi formada aqui na região, né? Aí a mesma foto também mostrando na região ao redor da cúpula aqui. Aqui já é o início da nossa área, né? Que é a formação da cúpula, né? Magnética e gravitacional, né? Então ela foi por todo um processo que foi realizado aqui, que a gente vai agora manifestar isso aí. Aí, se vocês observarem o termômetro está menos, inclusive, que deu na região. A região deu 2,1, aí dá 1 e pouco, está quase 0 graus, né? Aqui esse termômetro foi colocado num morion da cerca, próximo da área que a gente vai começar as fotos. Aí teve a filmagem, e vocês já observam no fundo o capim verde. Aí já dá para ver como que ficou sem a área que foi plasmado, né, onde está fora. A ideia básica é justamente ampliar para ajudar mais o vizinho, né? Nessa região aí do lado direito, a geada queimou todo o pasto, o capim, é o mesmo capim, o braquiária, que está do lado direito, é do lado esquerdo. O do lado esquerdo é a braquiária também, né? Tem um pedacinho aí de uma grama chamada batatais, mas na beira dos moriões da cerca, que essa grama é mais sensível à geada. Mas nós evitamos aplicar, às vezes, plasmar nessa área por causa dos arames que podem enferrujar.
Então você só borrifou onde está mais verde, ali para trás, não próximo da cerca.
Do lado
né?
direito, não próximo da cerca. A gente evita de plasmar essa área próxima da cerca justamente porque tem a gente tem que procurar o máximo possível tirar o sal, mas mesmo assim a gente percebe que prejudica o arame, então a gente vai ter que tirar mais o sal, porque eu faço às vezes tem uma concentração pequena de sal, mas prejudica onde que tem ferro no caso, né?
Isso é interessante porque teve uma pergunta no Facebook que alguém colocou que eu vi lá, né, que como conseguiu fazer tão certinho, né, a cúpula, né, na sua área. Agora você acabou de explicar, né? Na verdade você fez a borrifação só a partir... Parece que você conseguiu delimitar também com a borrifação, isso é interessante. Né?
O detalhe é que, nesse caso específico, as pessoas ao redor, entendeu, aqui, eles ainda... A cúpula avançou um pouco mais, porque... Nós temos situações aí de pessoas aí que não foi afetado tanto como distantes, bem mais distantes, né? Essas fotos anteriores é bem distante da cúpula, então está mais de 3 quilômetros e pouco. Essa cúpula já está atingindo uma faixa de 3 quilômetros e pouco. No próximo evento a gente vai falar sobre os relâmpagos, os raios, que eles já estão caindo a mais de 7 quilômetros de distância da área. Ele já está começando a ajudar os vizinhos, né? Isso aí é importantíssimo nesse trabalho, a gente está conversando, inclusive, com os vizinhos e vendo os benefícios, né? Aí também, né, visto numa outra posição, essa aqui dá para ver no horizonte, né, como que tá, vai muito, a parte que está totalmente queimado, ela está bem distante lá.
Bom dia a todos. Este aqui é o resultado da geada que deu ontem e hoje também essa noite. Esse lado aí todo foi queimado. Vocês observam aí que do lado de cá foi utilizado água plasmada e também os reatores também que... Então vocês podem observar que de um lado está bem verde e do outro lado bem seco. Inclusive ela chegou até próximo aqui a divisa, que a gente procura evitar às vezes a água plasmada contém um pouco de sal e pode enferrujar os fios de arame da cerca, né? Então a gente evita de aproximar muito, mas na região onde foi aplicado tá verde. Então esse é o resultado da tecnologia do plasma Keshe. Hoje dia 20 de julho de 2021. A gente vai mostrar depois outras áreas aí que foi queimado com... E tem frutíferas, bananeira, tem até uns mamões ali embaixo também. A nossa horta está desativada, que agora é inverno, a gente está trabalhando num laboratório para montar tecnologia, para fazer o workshop e tudo, então está parada a horta. Mas os mamões aqui, por exemplo, na área não foi afetado, não foi queimado, tão bonitos. Pé de alecrim também tá bonito, a geada não chegou até ele. Aí tá nosso tanque de mistura de água plasmada, tem o CO2, NO, Q, CH3. Os mamõezinhos estão todos bonitos. Você vê que ela chegou um pouco próximo às folhas, queimou algumas folhas. Mas os mamões estão bonitos. Estão pequenininho tudo, mas... E não foi queimado quase parte dos mamões. Aqui também vocês observam que tá tudo verde nessa parte. A geada não atingiu essa parte aqui. Alguns frutíferos que a gente está formando agora também. As bananeiras não atingiu a parte de cima da bananeira. A maior parte aqui está tudo verde. Tem alguns experimentos que a gente está fazendo com braquiária. Braquiária aqui para baixo a gente deixou para criar semente. A bananeira também não queimou a parte de cima. Tem alguns cachos novos que estão saindo. Essa parte que tem algumas bananeiras secas é que a gente está fazendo uma observação com a alelopatia, que é o eucalipto aí em cima, que vocês podem observar. Quando ele escorre a água do eucalipto, ele inibe o crescimento de algumas bananeiras, elas morrem, o cacho não vai para frente. Então a gente está agora observando como é que está utilizando a água plasmada para poder proteger mais o pé. Então já está dando resultado. Esses cachos aí são novos agora, essas bananeiras estão suportando melhor. Essas secas que morreu, inclusive, é resultado. Tem doenças que afetam a bananeira, mas no caso específico é a alelopatia, porque nós temos aí eucalipto em cima da bananeira. E ele inibe o desenvolvimento de algumas plantas, inclusive. Vocês podem ver que está tudo verde. Já aqui para baixo, a água plasmada a gente pulveriza até mais lá embaixo. Então tem algumas áreas que está mais verde aqui, mas as outras áreas do outro lado vocês podem observar que está tudo seco lá do vizinho. E a gente está fazendo experiência. Esse aqui é o cipó de São João, tá? Agora é inverno, ele está bem florido agora. Os beija-flores também, as abelhas adoram o cipó de São João aí. Então por enquanto é isso, a gente vem com mais matéria logo logo. Na segunda parte do vídeo a gente está mostrando aqui a área que foi afetada pela geada e a área que é plasmada da cúpula do sistema magrive magnético e gravitacional, toda verde do lado de dentro, vocês podem observar, e pro lado de fora onde que a geada pegou. E é interessante que ela permaneceu na divisa. A ideia é expandir para o vizinho também, para ajudar o vizinho, né? Vamos ampliar mais. Vocês veem que está tudo verde. E aqui tudo seco. Pegou na parte superficial do braquiária e está quase tudo seco. A região toda aqui, inclusive. As plantas aí saudáveis, tudo verde. Esse é o resultado da tecnologia Keshe, tecnologia do plasma. Um presente para a humanidade.
Acabamos de assistir à apresentação do buscador de conhecimento Carlos sobre o seu experimento com a tecnologia do plasma protegendo sua área da geada. Após uma semana, ele compartilhou um novo vídeo conosco, onde houve uma geada mais forte e ficou mais evidente a formação da criação da Cúpula da Paz. Podemos observar nas áreas vizinhas a cor branca do gelo e a danificação causada nas plantas, enquanto que na área deste buscador de conhecimento está um verde mais viçoso e sem gelo. Agradecemos ao Carlos e a todos os buscadores de conhecimento que compartilham seus experimentos com a tecnologia do plasma da Fundação Keshe.
Well, what do we think of that? Quite amazing.
Yeah, it's a clear demarcation line between where the plasma was applied and where it wasn't. It made me think of course, different conditions, but Tom Salas's video of the Dominican, where his area was beautifully protected by the dome of the plasma from the high winds of the hurricane, but when he scrolled his camera across the panorama there, you could just see all brown and nothing left at all. And it's clear example.
Almost the same kind of scenario, isn't it? Amazing. I'm just sort of trying to. My mind tries to rationalize. Well, there must be other conditions are different and blah blah blah. But it's pretty straightforward, and even when it went down to below a couple of degrees below zero, as they were showing at the end of the video, still the greenness was prevailing.
Did he say what he was actually using? I didn't catch that. Was it the Cup of Life 1? Was he spraying just CO2? What was he actually applying here?
I don't know for sure, but they did have a big bin. Where was the bin shown? Here. There's our plasma water mixing tank. There's CO2, ZNO, CuO, CH3.
Okay, so he has a composite GANs here.
Looks like it, yeah. Doesn't mention what proportions, but probably in that order. CO2 most, then ZNO, then CuO, then CH3, I suspect.
Hello, Rick. I was seeing. I think he used only Cup of Life 1. I think he's wrote in the beginning. If you go to the beginning, I think he's right there. Rafael is saying to me that is Cup of Life of number 1 and Cup of Man.
Okay.
It just seems that the plasma knows where to go and what to do in each individual situation. It has quite an intelligence.
He lives in this area, and he products many things. He has many experiences, very interesting. I think he produced rice and beans and many things.
Of course, this was in 2021, so he's had a couple more seasons of playing with it or using it or testing it. I think this came from July of 2021. I remember this video in the meeting. It wasn't as large that was shown, but yeah, you could see that clear difference between the treated and the untreated area.
What are the piles of looks like mud that we see? Can anyone explain those? I thought one of them might be an oven, but I see a number of them around.
I don't know. In English, I put in translated here is termite. I don't know.
Termites.
Termites, I think it's it.
I wondered if that might be the case, but it just seems so extreme. Wow. Yeah, you see them right there. Interesting. Okay. Any other comments or questions about all that?
Hello, Rick.
Yes, hi.
This is Jeff. Hello, everyone. Just to add during this explanation, if you can see the rows on the ground in the grass, you see kinds of roses where he put the water inside those roses, and they are all spread around. That's the way they keep the plasma water inside those roses around the area. So that's as well as spraying and putting reactors around. They put the water inside the roses to keep them. If you look around in this footage, you can see sometimes the roses. And yeah, rose, yes. That's just I'd like to add. That's very nice. Knowledge seeker, Carlos Eduardo, he's amazing guy. Doing a lot of work, helping a lot of people around here as well. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, the mangoes are looking like they're quite oblivious to, they're paying no attention to the frost. They're just continuing on their happy way. And it looks like this one received a small touch of the frost, perhaps. Again, I'm no expert on mangoes.
I think it's papayas.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for the clarification.
Yes, I was just mentioning hose, not rose. Hose, water, just like water hose. On the
Hose. Hose, not rose. Good, good.
Yeah,
Thank
the
you.
problem was my accent was. I was just wondering. I said no rose. They're talking about flowers. I'm not talking about flowers. I'm talking about the way he put it. If you see on the ground, as the camera passes, you can see
Right.
hose.
Hose. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I did see
Yeah,
that.
that's
So there's
they are full
there,
of plasma water.
right. There is some watering going on that may not be happening in the other field, let's say.
Yes,
But you can
that's
definitely see the difference. It's created an oasis compared to a more or less a desert in comparison. The plasma dome.
Of course, as Mr. Keshe says, when you grow with the plasma waters and things, it has a soul elevating factor. We've heard this from Jim and Lisa's customers in Australia too, that there's something that by consuming it, it has an elevation of the soul aspect to it. Correct, papayas. I'm not real familiar with either one, but I think I could pick them out in a crowd.
Mark, do you think that that maybe this peace dome, this field interaction that's happening, would also be part of the structure of a person that's consuming these waters? They would have this field protection around themselves. Mr. Keshe said that even if you've interacted with it by having just some plasma water touching you, or you've drunk some, or you've interacted with it in some way, some of the ganses, you've become part of this. You are part of this, and we all know that these ganses have touched this planet now and are a part of the structure. So in reality, if a plasma touches from an atom to a universe, then we've already been touched by this beauty.
I was going to write Yvonne, and she read that earlier in another class, and I thought that was one of the most beautiful things Mr. Keshe has ever said. But that you were all going to be included, whether you spilled the plasma, if you've ever made the plasma water, you left it and let it dry out. You're part of this, what's being put together. And I thought that was one of the most beautiful things Mr. Keshe said. That everyone who's ever interacted with it is part of this larger movement, can we say, of bringing the change.
Yeah, definitely, Mark. It is. It's part of it. We know that a hydrogen or any element, any of these electrons, they all, once they interact, once they become part of something, then the elevation of that particular atom, or whatever you want to call it, is then part of a much bigger structure. So by elevating the smallest, we elevate the largest. So and it's all the same. So it's all the same structure. So from a position of having an interaction, having a part of the creation that you've created yourself. So when you first initiate, when you set the plasma going by a thought, an interaction, you then start the process. You become the magnet, and you you then disperse the fields and the thoughts and interactions that you have, that you interact with, into the environment, into your condition, into your elements. And we know that the Ganses bring about a condition of peace, and they bring about a condition of a balancing, helping, interacting in the correct way. So once that's introduced and you then observe it and absorb it into your structure, then it's part of you. And then that elevation on a level that is from an atom has become part of your structure. And then as it's become part of your structure, then it becomes part of your thought process that then emanates out, and you put into the fields the same thing as we see right here now. It's the same interaction, and everything around you becomes this, as you say, oasis, becomes this peace dome, becomes this field strength that creates this dome of peace. In this very moment.
Seems like it's doing a far greater work than we fully comprehend, I think.
That's for sure.
Thank you, Jefferson, for sending that video along to me. It's a beautiful one.
Well, thank you. Raphael just send me things. I send it to you right away. Thank you all.
Speaking of which, you also sent a number of testimonial PDFs. I think we're up to number 9 now that have been sent, but we're only up to I think we've done number 4. I'm not sure if we've done number 5. I have that ready to have a look at here, actually. So maybe we'll do that now. Unless there's somebody else who has something they would like to present at this moment, or any other discussion. Let's see. Mark, you might recognize this more than me. I'm not sure if we covered number 5 at one point and went backwards, or if we didn't quite make it to number 5. So I'd like to get into it a bit here, and we should be able to tell within the first page or so. Do you remember this one, Mark?
I don't think we actually did this one. Again, I'm not sure what I had for breakfast this morning. But wherever you'd like to start, I think they're all...
I think we can do this one, and if it really gets familiar partway through, we might have to bail on it and move to the number 6, because like I say, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 now to still go through, and each of them have quite a few pages. This one has 26 pages of testimonies. So
you asked testimonials, Rick, and they've certainly been delivered, haven't they?
Well, the Brazilian community is certainly delivered, as you say, today, and almost all of our testimonials are from Brazil. The videos and so on. So yeah, they're very active, and very much committed to documenting things, to do the work that it takes to put together a PDF like this with pictures and words, and the translation into English besides the Portuguese. So that's, otherwise it would be really difficult for the English people to get through these testimonials. So we would sort of get the gist of it, but we would need a translation in order to get the details. And here it is, side by side, and we get to read them. And those that are Portuguese are able to read the text and get the meaning from that as well. So it seems like a win-win situation here, and let's dive in. Mark, can you help out with the vocal part of it?
We thank the knowledge seekers there for inspiring all of us with the sharing of this knowledge. Hello, knowledge seekers. I would like to share my experiences with the plasma breather. A week ago, the Plasma Connection live on YouTube in conversations with knowledge seekers Josepha, I was encouraged to do the same because for more than 3 weeks, I found myself in an intense blood flow, totally discouraged, lying down, without energy for anything, something that was not consistent with my normality. After 2 consecutive days of breathing several times, the problem was completely solved. And I returned to my activities as if nothing had happened. And other times it would take many days to get back to normal. Thanks to all the knowledge seekers who somehow contribute to share these teachings with us in a more accessible language. Again, very quick results. Everyone, I want to register a fact so that you know that the Keshe technology really works and helps immensely those who believe and dedicate themselves to it. An uncle of mine who was a little over 80 years old, full of health and vigor, became totally weak after the 2nd dose of the injection. Now, is this the same video we saw earlier? I don't think so. His body filled with blisters that burst and formed horrible sores, and he didn't want to eat. He was wasting away. Without strength even to lift his body from the bed, we started to apply the health pen on him, and the wounds are healing. His hands, which were purple, are now clear, and he can get up and feed himself. Now I am waiting to collect the GANs that I provided to use with him. May God bless this gift that Mr. Keshe has given us. Immense gratitude. Yeah, each one of these little stories is quite elevating in itself. Good evening, everybody. I was experimenting with plants in my mother's house and in my wife's house. This aloe vera was just lying in the pot at home. In 2 weeks, its vitality is already evident, starting to return from the middle to the tips. It was getting brown and opaque. And of course, that's what we saw with the person in the wheelchair. His vitality came back. Good morning, everybody. If you allow me some personal reflections about the Keshe technology and the present moment, he might have meant at the present moment. If we have received thousands of hours of universal teachings from the plasma fields free of charge and with love, we have helped hundreds or thousands of lives in the pandemic with the cups of life. 1, I have reduced medicine costs. I have reduced energy costs. I have reduced food costs. I have reduced veterinarian costs. I have reduced dental costs, etc. I have increased my self-esteem. I increased my vitality. I improved my mood. I think this continues. I increased my affection and respect for others, animals, plants, insects, rocks, and so on. I increased my knowledge about the creator and the creative uniqueness of magnetism, beliefs, the cosmic universe, the solar system, our planet, nature, etc. I have increased my knowledge about the interaction of my souls and physicality to respect, serve, and help all beings. Increase my happiness with simple things, and much more is endless. Every dollar or cents that I have made in donations for the research and development of the Keshe Foundation, which is not for profit, brings an unparalleled joy, because I know that the dollar cents carries my retribution, intention, and love, so that everyone, especially the most needy, are elevated by knowledge and can enjoy a full and happy life. Humble vision of a knowledge seeker. Thank you. Well, it sounds like he's enjoying the full package, Rick.
Yes, beautiful and well explained. If we just go back, whoops, one. What happened there?
I think it's the next. Yeah.
When he or she lists all the things, I reduced all. Oops. Somehow I'm moving here. Reducing all these costs: medicine, energy, food, veterinarian, dental, and then increasing that's the things that the costs were reduced, you could say, or they were able to take care of those needs without spending a lot of money. Then the increase in the self-esteem, the vitality, the mood, the respect for others, the increase in knowledge. We talk about the knowledge and the knowledge that's given us, and that knowledge was just one of many aspects that increased or was noticed by this person. So the knowledge about the interaction of the souls and physicality and with other beings and so on, that's a really big knowledge to achieve for someone to come to that point, and to increase my happiness with simple things. That's a total blessing in itself, to be happy with what you have, where you are, and still go for more if necessary or reasonable or whatever. And it's beautiful testimony.
Very much touched by the knowledge, the technology, everything. It looks like a beautiful interaction he's enjoying.
Yeah, it just makes us realize and have gratitude for the diversity that we get through the plasma technology as presented with Mr. Keshe. I mean, he's covered all these things and many times over in all the workshops and so on. Everything from health to energy and right up to flying through the universe and actually doing experiments in such now. So it's from the nano to the macro, micro and beyond micro. Lovely. All right.
Good morning. Let's see. Good morning, everyone. I would like to share what happened to me. 2 days ago, I was at work, and a very heavy iron table fell on my leg, shin. It started hurting the very instant of the blow. I ran to my purse and grabbed my Cup 1 spray bottle, which I carry with me everywhere, I sprayed immediately on the spot. I thought it will be purple. That same day before going to sleep, I sprayed the cup one again. Today, after 2 days, the place is still sore, but it did not become purple or swollen. Thanks to plasma technology developed by Mr. Keshe, many problems can be avoided and many others restored, whether in health of the physical body, agriculture, free energy, and more. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. You are love in the form of a human being. Yes, I think
that's a good one. You are love in the form of a human being. What a nice thing to say.
Right, and doesn't the name Mehran mean a giver or a total giver? Something along, I'm not sure. I could be off on that one. Giver of love?
Okay.
Okay, yesterday I hurt my leg and the skin around stood up and bled a lot. Then I sprayed it with plasma water from the Cup of Life 1. It stopped hurting and bleeding, and it seems that the skin is sticking. I have observed that the plasma water heals very well without inflaming. How wonderful. Something similar happened to me. Last Sunday, my thigh started hurting as if I had been hit. I started limping, and the pain was increasing. Then I started spraying it with Cup 1, and little by little, the pain went down. The next day, I noticed an improvement. On Tuesday, the pain disappeared completely. Thank you for all the teachings. I am just starting, but I already notice improvements in my health. Good afternoon, everybody. This is a little plant that grew spontaneously in front of my house. At this time of the year, the sun is direct, and it was getting all dried up, even though it was watered every day. Look what happened to it after receiving the plasma water from Cup 1. I only recognized that it was the same plant because of the buds and flowers. It was almost unbelievable. Wonderful technology, so simple, yet so profound. I guess it was, in this application, a good sunscreen in a way for the plant.
Well, we certainly hear that story repeated so many times. That type of story.
Right. And again, with the intelligence of the plasma, I think Mr. Keshe said it wasn't always that way, but we designed it this way. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to all. I'm going to ask your permission first and foremost to come to you and relate some things that have been happening since I became part of this group, Keshe Brazil. I will try here in all simplicity and humility to tell you about the strange phenomena and at the same time light for my soul, or for my life, parentheses, soul. In my adolescence, I sought the church to acquire a north knowledge and biblical teachings so that I could live better with my neighbor. But this journey of searching for knowledge, the thirst grew more and more. In 1995, I got to know technology. I could be part of the larger communication group in my region, Povo Radio, Television, and Normal. From the information technology, it took me to the UFO world. Then I met the spiritualism of Allan Kardec's doctrine and saw that after many years, I could not find a greater evolution on all of the questions I still had. The blindfold came off after I got to know plasma technology. Just for you to have an idea, I started to get emotional with more frequencies, feeling the positive and negative vibrations of people. I could understand why I got dizzy from time to time. It was because I had to give my energy to those who needed it. And several other things that are emerging after I also stopped using fluoride and industrialized foods. But the biggest breakthrough was meeting the Keshe Foundation.
Excuse me, I was just told that the pages weren't continuing in live stream for some strange reason. I've never actually had that happen before, but I just restarted it on that stream and it seems to be okay now. So thank you to Freed for letting me know about that. Okay, let's carry on.
Okay, does that mean you have to work two systems at once, Rick, or is it just moving simultaneously from one?
Well, it's supposed to be all automatically. Live stream is, to the live stream channel is supposed to pick up off of my one monitor, and for some reason it got stuck on the previous pages and didn't forward a couple of pages.
That too. When playing reactor groups or things, it always seems to like us, we need to catch up. But sometimes it plays well. But anyway, okay, I wasn't aware.
Anyway, we're all good now.
All right, so we read this part already, or do you want me to start it again?
No, we're good, I think.
Okay. Boldo, Piumis boldus flower. This plant has been with me for over 7 years and had never bloomed. After receiving daily plasma water from cup 1, it bloomed, and they are beautiful. For me, it was a novelty because I had never seen it. I didn't know. Yes, many people are making many discoveries, or what they call epiphanies, these aha moments of something clicking within all of us that we're trying to share. I just finished watching it now, Teaching of Mr. Keshe. I know that by watching and interacting with the soul at the moment it occurs, what we can feel is much more intense and impactful. I promise to be together with everyone, giving of myself in the next ones. But even watching it now, I was moved. How grateful I am. They say that fruit is eaten when it is ripe. I, after a lifetime of searching, have been firming the foundations. Today, I called myself a free thinker because the conscience, does he mean conscience? I'm not sure, is liberating. At this moment, after everything, I am 75 years old and having studied at last quantum physics, having learned and passed on to those who sought me, showing the prodigality of the omnipotent, omnipotent, it falls into my lap as a divine gift at a moment when my conscience puts me to the test, because the vitality, health, and dynamism that have always been mine disappeared overnight, leaving me prostrated. And everything that I know ended up being impracticable in myself. Yes, many people are searching for so many answers, and I think the foundation really, Mr. Keshe says, I can teach you as much as you can absorb. And we're all absorbing different amounts, but no matter who is here, he can teach you as much as you can absorb. And here in my lap is all the teachings that the Keshe Foundation gives us through people I don't know physically, but who are or were connected to me because we are all one, without color, creed, title, stripped of physicality and united by the light, causing others to wake up and strip themselves of material illusions, connecting to what transcends physicality and connecting to the omnipresent all. Gratitude, Mr. Keshe. I thank you for being in a moment of pain that is growing. Okay. Let's see. Is this a second one? No. I thank you for being in a moment of pain that is growing day by day without the traditional medicine solving it. We will see the solution not only by plasma water, but for understanding that we are inserted in this plasma ocean from where we receive life, which is worth living, when we understand where we live and the purpose of being here. I will still give my testimony, helping to leverage dormant consciences. Gratitude, millions of times. Gratitude. The planet thanks you. I did the test to know if the plasma water, that Cup of Life 1, was generating correctly. And then I put 1 cup with the water from the filter and another cup with plasma water. Oh, the result. Wonderful. Obviously an ice test. And here, of course, we see the fields going out across the universe. Good evening. I had a sensational experience with the use of patches. My father is 87 years old. He fell down, and when he tried to stand up, he hurt his shoulder and couldn't sleep because of the pain. I did the patches with the best intention. He called me yesterday, all happy that he used the patches, and that 2 nights ago he sleeps without any pain. Gratitude. Seems like this technology has something in store for everyone, doesn't it, Rick? And those steps never end.
Yep. And
it is very nice. Go ahead, sir.
I just wanted to mention the bottom line always ends in that word gratitude. People have gratitude when they have something that actually affects them in their life, and it can have very profound effects, or it can have, even if it's just a subtle, small effect, people can still appreciate that very much as well. And they do. It's the gratitude just flows.
Yes, I think we've played that song with Cirque du Soleil there, Alegria, which means some sort of elevated happiness and joy. It is very nice to talk about Keshe technology. That day I ended up doing a reflection of my life before and after technology. How many changes, how many transformations, thoughts changed, hopes turned, faith was restored, joy sprouted again. Today my smile is not only with my lips, my smile comes from my heart. From the soul, it expresses itself on the lips, in the eyes, and the inner peace, the certainty of a better world today is a reality in my being. Much gratitude to the Creator, to Mr. Keshe, to the knowledge seekers of the group, and to Josepha, Cristiano, and Claudia that opened the doors of the plasma connection that gave me the opportunity to do this deeper reflection. For me, it was a huge gift, and I leave here my signs of gratitude to everyone who was with us that day. Reading the chat messages, I am thrilled to feel so much love overflowing. My heart vibrates with joy, eternally grateful. Beautiful.
There's the gratitude coming through again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And gratitude's more than just joy. Joy is our kind of our personal response or something. With gratitude, we are giving back. We are, humble and giving kind of goes along with gratitude. Can be an overwhelming emotion sometimes. We're just so full of gratitude, as they say. Okay, carry on.
Good evening. I had a sensational experience with the use of patches. Oh, we did this one. I think, unless you went backwards,
no,
right? There's
no, it's kind of jumping by itself sometimes here. Okay,
are you having to wrestle, live stream, and Zoom at the same time? That doesn't seem fair.
Yeah, it's well, if my mouse hits the screen and if I touch it in the wrong way, then suddenly it jumps to the next panel. So I just have to be careful here.
Okay. I use plasma water on the orchid. Too bad there is no before. It grew faster, grew healthier buds, and soon bloomed. More vigor, even. Yeah, adding energy. This is what it says. The more the energy that's added to these systems depends how he sets them. You can meet your own soul. So it all depends on what reactors and so on. But it's this increase in energy, I think, that the releases and again, the interaction's probably in the space gap, but it has this way of sort of what we've heard just in these testimonies of reinvigorating, re-enlivening, bringing back to life something that had faded or however it ended up in its, let's say, weakened condition. And it seems to be able to provide that.
You get some noise in the microphone again there.
Sorry.
Yeah, it provides a general sort of cure-all or vigor element to everything.
Rick, I'm back now. I've been doing something. So if Mark needs a rest from his voice, I can read some of these if you'd like. If not, that's fine.
I was about to ask him that, so.
Sure, I'm going to make some tea or coffee. Not sure yet. Go right ahead. Take over. Thanks.
All right, next volunteer. Thank you very much.
So, I want to record a fact. I made some pens with the intention of helping those who needed it. A brother who did not believe in anything, came in with back pain, close to the shoulder. I told him about the pen, and he was doubtful. I gave him the application, and 5 minutes later, he was pain-free. I've had this many times where I've, in the past, given people the application of these pens, and it's instant relief for some. They feel a slight wind, and all of a sudden, the pain that they've had for a very long time suddenly disappears. So I gave him the application, and after 5 minutes later, he was pain-free. When he left, he asked me if I had really donated the pen to him, if he could take it. Of course I did. And now he is starting to be a knowledge seeker, a KS as well. He is already seeing the teachings and also taking knowledge to others, bringing to Keshe technology. Gratitude to all and to Mr. Keshe.
Dean, is this what it means to come into the foundation through the back door? Pun.
Maybe so, Mark. Yes, maybe so. So this one, I am a veterinary doctor and extremely sensitive. I am testing GANs at home, in the good and bad force fields, and in health. First day that I produced the CO2 plasma, I burned my finger on the pan and it made a super blister. I dipped it in the plasma and less than 15 minutes stopped hurting and regenerated the skin better than my low frequency medical laser. The emotional vibrations were amazing. I have a very unbalanced neighbor and we had no more strong emotional changes. Now I will test it on my knee. I have recent acute tendonitis and do a lot of sports. I want to put the knee brace with plasma plus GANs and see the recovery. I control it with a magnetic resonance. I want to record a fact. I made some pens with an intention of helping those who needed it. I think I read this one now, Rick. So there's another one here. So this is good afternoon, knowledge seekers. This morning I went to a stationery store to print those pamphlets, these pamphlets. And while the girl who was attending me was doing the printing, she commented that she was walking slowly because she had inflammation in her heel. I asked her what it was. She explained, said that she had injections, but that it gets better for a while and then comes back. Then I suggested that she read the health pamphlet, which could help. To which she replied that she decided to comment on her foot because she found what she saw in the photos interesting. I gave her the pamphlet about the Cup 1, asked her to enter the foundation's channels and made myself available. I wondered how the fields interact so beautifully. I was only supposed to make a print, but someone connected with that knowledge and wanted to know more. And that's a great testimony. That does happen a lot. When you bring this technology, when you bring this knowledge forward, when you bring your intention forward to help another being, another soul, another creature, a vertical friend, or any individual, anybody who's present in this moment, when you decide to bring it forward, you find that it expands out and the fields interact more and more. And people that are very have certain conditions, when they receive this technology, it's very gentle and it can be very balancing and it can be very instant. It can take them by surprise. And it can bring about many emotional changes as well that enhance them in more ways than just the physicality of the pain that they've received. They also receive an emotional balance, which is probably worth more than when the physicality has pain. Because when you balance and the emotion as well, then it tends to connect and open up many different field strengths within the structure of the body. So that's that one. Rick, is there another one?
Yes, we're up to number, I should probably announce these or say the intervals. This is testimony number 19, and we have 3 more pages to go in this particular set of testimonials. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So good news. Maybe you didn't see or remember that right after Cup 1 made a great improvement. But the terrible muscle spasms in my legs and groin continued night and day, and with my back aching non-stop. Then I prepared Cup 2, and yesterday I was able to spray it on myself for the first time. I followed Josefa's orientation with the fantastic blue water, making compresses on my back, front, knees, feet, and also sprayed on the bed and the pillows. I didn't want to manifest myself first thing in the morning, but I woke up with 75 to 80% less pain. Even the nerve pain in my legs, extremely painful, had stopped. Of course, I am fragile with a sensitive body. After so much pain, so I am cautious. I only spoke now because I waited all day in observation. I thank to the all for having at this time in our lives, Mr. Keshe, and all of you tireless workers of good. And all the knowledge seekers that are present here, that are listening, that are receiving this field strength, and all the dedicated Mark and Rick and many, many others that devote their physical lives and their sole intentions to helping and spreading this knowledge and giving this field strength to the whole of humanity is beyond words. It's an incredible thing that the knowledge seekers do. And once you join the family and once you're part of the family, many take up the reins and suddenly realize that they really are part of something much bigger than just the structure of themselves. They are, and we all are, part of something quite incredible. We're all part of the same, and we are all in this together. We all breathe the same air, and we all have thoughts and intentions within this plasmatic condition that we call life on planet Earth and beyond. Thank you, Rick.
Well put, Dean. Oops, why is this not going through? Okay, here we go.
So this one is, I have been treating my grapevine with plasma water. It used to produce little bunches and few bunches. Now it's like this. I counted more than 70 bunches. I cut little bottles of water and buried them in the stem of the grapevine. Thus, I put the plasma water in every day. So you're seeing the interaction of these of vertical friends and these plants are receiving this plasma water, this condition that helps them to gather a field strength that enhances them in their environment. So they're receiving wherever they happen to be this condition that, as I said, enhances them so that they thrive within their own environment, whatever that environment happens to be. So it's like the pea stone. It can create a protection around and nurture and give the emotional, maybe it's an emotional balance. They are all souls, the same as you and I. And so maybe it's an emotional balance that they require in their particular environment. So it is a beauty. Okay, Rick, the next one.
That completes.
That's it, is it? Okay, that completes. Okay.
Number 5 in this series of PDFs. Yay! Well done, Dean. And thank you, Mark, as well for reading that.
Hello, Rick.
Hello, Claudia.
I sent to you on the Telegram a folder that my sister did about the technology, and you can show for everybody here. Is with the official channels and wait a minute. I sent to you. Our explanatory folder about the plasma technology in area of agriculture, health. But in English, I don't know if we have about health, about agriculture. I don't know in agriculture we have.
Let me show it here now. Here we go. Okay, so it's what, a 2-page pamphlet? It's this one and this. It's got all the links. Let's go back to the first one here. Well, it shows before and after pictures of growing with and without GANs. Very nicely put together, actually.
Would you like me to read this one, Rick? Or you?
Oh, sure, go ahead. Why not?
So, a new plasma science, a gift to humanity by the Keshe Foundation. So we see on the top left hand without GANs and with GANs. And it says left side, GMO papra without GANs water. It is about 12 centimeters long. Right side, after spraying GANs water, the paprika returned to its original size of 30 centimeters. So the left side in the middle, sorry. Papaya, sorry. Yeah, papaya.
I got it wrong too, Dean. I was saying mango earlier.
Yeah, we get some things wrong. This is part of it, isn't it? So without GANs, we see we're on the middle picture now, and we can see it's 2020. It's a little bit small for me. I need to blow it up a little bit. Can we get it bigger, Rick?
Yep. For me, mango and papaya are, I eat them quite regularly, actually, so that was easy. Let me see if I can.
I've got it now, Rick. I've just blown it up myself. It's okay. Thank you. Yeah. And then with GANs, you can see it as a 2021. So it says the left side, August 2020, the roses are depleted with a yellowish color on the stem, and they were almost dead. Right side, February 2021, the roses recovered completely after using cup 1 with GANs water. So the top right, we have without GANs and with GANs. The left side, the lettuce was in terrible condition, withering and dying. Right side, the lettuce with small vials filled with CO2 GANs placed in the soil near it were fully recovered. So the Keshe Foundation brings a new developmental milestone in the world of agriculture, offering the knowledge that allows you to achieve national and global food security through the newly developed GANs plasma technology. This technology introduces natural farming and agricultural practices that improve yields, nutrition, and incomes without need for costly fertilizers and pesticides. Many people in Brazil and worldwide have already used GANs plasma technology. Anyone can make their GANs in their own home through an extremely simple method. Those who use them have observed a significant improvement in their plants and fruits growth, vitality, and rooting. Join us and learn more about this revolutionary technology. All the information you need is in our Telegram group at Keshe_Brazil. So there's a very wonderful testimonial for the agriculture in Brazil, and you can see there that a vast difference in the actual structure of these plants, of vertical friends that are receiving this GANs, and it can be placed in and around them, in and around their environment. And when creatures, like many animals and plants are, they're very open. They're very they give a lot continuously to humanity. And they're very open. So when they have a condition where they're not so, where they can receive something openly and freely, they don't question, they just receive. They're open to the field interaction, to let it come through to their structure. And you can see the evidence before you in these pictures on the screen, exactly what it does to a structure, to a being, to a soul when they receive this plasma in a certain understanding. So when you allow it to become part of you, when you become open, it becomes a point of balance. It becomes a point of giving. And then when you allow it to be received, then the plasma really opens up and completely balances the structure. And that's so for whether it's as I said, one of our vertical friends, or a human being, or an animal, or any creature that has this position, this understanding, or this allowing within inside themselves to embrace and take in the energy flow, the free transfer of energy that is given by this technology. So this, you can see there's the new picture, a new plasma science, a gift to humanity by the Keshe Foundation. And you can see the tree there in the top left without GANs. To me, it looks like it has very few leaves. This could be in a growth period where it doesn't have leaves, but I suspect maybe not. And then you see with GANs, and you see the structure, you see the way that the tree itself, this being, this soul, has received, and within its structure, it has readdressed its either an element that it required, whether it be magnesium or something else within its structure. It's received it, or maybe it's an emotional thing where just like ourselves, they're all souls, and so they have an environment around them that may cause them distress. And when they have distress, it causes a condition that then when it's fed with emotion, it creates a different position that is not always the best for the being or the creature. So we can see here that looking at these pictures, that it looks like the plasma water is definitely readdressed and balanced. Our beautiful vertical friend here. So we have the left side, September 2020. Before the star formation was placed on the tree, it was almost leafless. Center image. 1 month later, just 1 month later, that's quite incredible. 1 month later, most of the leaves returned. Right side, January 2021. The tree is fully recovered and thriving. I mean, that's quite a testament. And having it before us in pictures and being given freely to share to humanity, we can see the possibilities that when we allow this technology to come forward and we actually use it with correct intentions to help another, and that can be in a soul, it can be in any shape or form, as we all know, and we've spoken about many, many times. So once you set the intention to give, and you see another that requires this energy flow, this free plasma condition, this giving, then once you set the intention, you give this energy, the other creature, the other being, the other soul will receive, and if they're allowing, and they will thrive, as we see with this beautiful vertical friend here. So we have the Keshe Foundation, and we have the Keshe Brazilian Knowledge Team. You can see all the addresses there. Early Learning Plasma Science of KF, and you can see before you the names that you need to contact. East Learning Plasma Science of KF in Agriculture, Testimonials of the KF Plasma Science in Agriculture. So there are many, many groups there that many ways that you can get involved with, and you just need to just literally type in. You've got https /t.me/alas.facial.aprenzengem, whatever that is, /plasma/3. So these you just basically type these into your Telegram, and you will be able to connect with these groups, and then you can start experiencing and sharing this knowledge freely amongst the groups and amongst yourselves, and help to grow the community and give back for the knowledge that you've received, and that you're sharing, and you receive that field strength, and on a soul level you have been elevated, and by this elevation then it leads you to a condition where you want to share and give this knowledge freely more and more. And when this condition comes about with inside your structure, you will find that this elevation will emanate from you, will be like a drop of water in the ocean. And once you put that first drop in, it becomes part of a much bigger body of a condition of the element of the water. It becomes a much bigger. And so your drop, your first initial thought, becomes the point of opening up the whole of it and yourself to the whole of the technology and the whole of the condition of the plasma, which is in totality everything. Plasma is everything. It's part of us. It's within us. It's in everything that we're part of and we interact with on this planet. So once you open up to that, you become a beautiful, giving knowledge seeker that expresses itself in the beauty of the creation, of the creator in this very moment. And as we know, once you start acting in the moment, then you literally are becoming everything, because you already are.
And I want to add something else, that this folder here in the Knowledge Seeker, you usually distribute these pamphlets mainly on Sundays when they spray their regions with the plasma water. So you can do this in your cities and stay much bigger, like Jean said now. So that's it. We have many others folders like health and cup of life, I think, and that's the way that we can share the knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claudia. I know the Brazilian team. I know you're part of it. You do so much work, and they are incredible. It's a testimony to how once the plasma becomes part of a community, it opens itself up, as we know. And it seems to me that in certain parts of the industrialized world, we have many parts where we have everything we think we have. We already have. And so we tend to become a little bit closed to being part of this technology. However, when you suddenly find yourself in need, or when you find you have another soul or another family member in need, then you suddenly become more aware of the technology. And then sometimes you think, oh, I'll give it a go and I'll open up. And in that very instant that you suddenly flip the switch and you allow yourself to give this information, then the soul knows. And then you start to receive, and then you can start to share it more. So it's all in the very moment that you allow it to happen. And this happens as an emotional attachment that we all have. Not all of us, but some of us have, where we suddenly come to a position where we suddenly just give. We suddenly think, yes, I need to receive this energy. I need to give this energy. And so you open up to it. And then as the Brazilian community did in that very instant, it's bloomed into something quite magnificent that is something very special for the foundation, because it's one of the brightest stars present on the planet in these moments, giving freely and unconditionally to the whole of the community of planet Earth. So thank you, the Brazilian team. Wonderful. Anything else, Rick, you'd like to go to? One thing I could say here, just quickly looking at this again, is obviously you can see you've got the official sites of you've got Telegram, Facebook, and YouTube, and so you just basically you can scan this in, and you as soon as you put your phone up to it and scan it, it will come straight through onto the page that you need to receive on. So very much like the screen that we're viewing now, or if you're on your phone, we are communicating with instant communication in this very moment. And this knowledge is from Brazil to Austria to Canada, America, across the continents, Asia, yet everywhere, Russia. The technology is spread across the whole planet now. And so like the beginnings of a little seed, a plasma, it's already like that first drop in the ocean. It's already been placed. And now we're just waiting for the hydrogen and the all the atoms to open up, absorb the condition of the plasma, and then it replicates and spreads its beauty. And this is happening around the world, and is in this precise moment. It is here. We have it right in this very moment. Thank you, Rick. Do you have anything else you'd like to present, Claudia, or Rick? Do you have anything else you'd like to show?
Rick, if you're speaking to us, I think you're...
Oops, sorry. Yes, microphone was off. Sorry about that. Yeah, I was mentioning that it's likely quite a bit easier for people to scan in those things, as Dean was saying. Scan in the code, and then you won't have to type in all the letters. And I was just brought up a site. That's the Brazilian website. Let me share it here. It's under construction. This is a testimonials with the plasma technology website from the Brazilian community, Brazilian Keshe Foundation. So we have experiments and testimonials, and there's a number of videos that are involved there. And then there's all the parts of that we're going through in our testimonials meeting here. The one that we just went through is part number 5, and they've got all the parts up to part 9 that you can click to read of the testimonials, like the testimonials that we saw today that Mark and Dean were reading, can be read also by just clicking on this, and it'll take you right into one of the PDFs that we've covered.
Rick, can I just quickly say something? I think you've just said something very important there. That one thing I find with this technology, for all of you listening, is that when you actually read the words, you connect with them. When you speak the words, you connect with them, and you receive a field strength. You are sharing the knowledge of the creation, and you're sharing knowledge that is incredibly valuable and poignant in these moments, in this particular moment. And as I said, you receive lots of energies just by interacting with and reading this information, because it's given with the intentions of the soul. It's given with the very correct, beautiful intentions to help and give. And as soon as you tap into that knowledge and you start, as I said, expressing it with words and just reading the lines, reading it, you are receiving yourself. You're receiving an elevation. and this then helps us to then reach another plasmatic condition where this peace dome grows, and the field strength of it starts to spread further and stronger and more purposefully across the whole of this planet. So interact with it as much as you can, because you will find that it will give you a beautiful elevation as well, and it will enhance your very core being, your very soul. Sorry, go ahead, Rick.
Okay, so I posted the link to that channel so people can pick up on that if they like, and it's a great resource. There'll be literally, I think there's probably around 1,500 testimonials available on this website here through those PDFs at the end there, those 9 PDFs. So that's a great resource to have and good to know about. The links are published in the chats there. And also like to go to the Brazil YouTube channel. It is also a good resource. So let me just punch that in and see what comes up here. So this is the Keshe Brazil Tecnologia do Plasma, which has a number of uploads and some really good videos and workshops they've put together as well. So people should be aware of that, and especially if you're Portuguese speaking. And I'll put that link also in their chats.
Those YouTube channels have a wealth of knowledge, and when you connect, when you actually start looking through the informations, you'll find that you will get a connection through your you'll be led in certain directions, and it'll be through a soul interaction that will give you the right information you require. And you'll find that if you just allow, you will connect exactly in the right moment with exactly what you need. And these channels have, as I said, a wealth of this knowledge within them, all beautifully put together with the right intentions. And you will, once you step into this channel, you will receive, and you will find that it will open up many, many doorways and many other conditions for you to be able to pass on and give this field strength to the next. And you will also receive much yourself. So as I said earlier, it is a beauty, and all these channels are put together with so much love and attention from all the language communities. There's the Brazilian one here, there's Italian ones, and there's German ones, the Spanish ones. There's many of these languages that actually are represented by the foundation, and obviously they all speak a different language. However, the interests and the beauty of it is the knowledge is all the same. It may be spoken in a different tongue, may be spoken in a way that we don't all understand the words. However, the field strength of the beauty of what's between the words and what the intention is where the real understanding of the creation is. It's in the space gap in between, and that is when you connect in the moment. So it is a very beautiful thing, and these portals, these channels are openly available and there for everybody to tap into in any moment. And please feel free to add to the knowledge, because the knowledge is constantly evolving. When we see this information on the screen, sometimes we just absorb the information, and we stop at that point. The best bit is when the interactions that we've had today is when people start to express themselves and actually receive the knowledge, and then do the experiments, do the testing, use the knowledge to bring it forward and give it into the communities. And then it opens up. Then the plasma really starts to take another dimension. So sometimes it's best to absorb, even if it's just a little bit that you learn. If it's just a patch or any of the information that you take, if you then receive that knowledge and then start to apply it and pass it on, you will find that the world of plasma will continuously give to you in a most incredible way. And it will be a very enjoyable experience for you. Thank you, Rick. Thank you all.
Great, thanks, Dean.
You're welcome.
To refine my background image here, just a second. Here we go. Okay, wow, lots of good things. Good things. Good things happen with plasma technology. Anybody else have something they would like to add? Thinking I might like to wrap things up for today if there's nothing further. But willing to continue for a bit longer if there's a push for it.
I think, Rick, that little space gap of that quietness is where the energy flowed and the connection with all the souls happened, and it was very beautiful. And they're all aware of this interaction, as all the souls always are. And so it's wonderful in this moment to be part of this growing family, this interaction that is part of all of us, and we're all in it together. So thank you for a wonderful testimonial meeting, Rick, as usual, and thank you for hosting and doing all the wonderful work that you normally do. Thank you very much, Rick.
Thank you, Dean. Okay, I guess if there's no further discussion, we've had quite a full show, I think, in many ways, and lots of good interaction and food for thought and inspiration. More importantly, I think, is food for emotion, food for inspiration. Maybe I'll show one more little video. It's quite simple, but it shows. This is from Gianni, and it's a microscope video of a seed that Gianni has applied his method of GANs to the seed, which is you put the seed in your mouth. The GANs from your mouth actually interacts with the seed and creates this, it essentially gives the seed its life. And you can see in this video all the little hairs and so on the seed itself. And Gianni is using different colors, LED lights, different colored light to try to see the aura of the seed, essentially. I believe this is a wheat seed. You can see the colors are slowly changing. And he compared compared this seed to the seeds that are chemically treated to see the difference. And the ones that are chemically treated they don't have all the little hairs on them and so on. They look, they're almost like they've been fried or burnt. And in the last plasma reactor group, Gianni gave a detailed, we had a detailed look at his planting of the wheat seeds and that whole process. He's working with a farmer on a large farm where they have tons, literally tons of seed of this wheat seed that they're planting. So they had to prepare it, and they prepared it mixing with Gans water. And Johnny gets energy from the seeds. He can put just a few seeds in his mouth and not chew them up, but just leave them in your mouth, and they will give off their energy to you as like food. He says you can have them instead of eating food, just have a few seeds and let them sort of dissolve in your mouth. But it's an old farmer's trick, you could say, or folklore, or practical advice, is to put seeds in your mouth before you plant them, and it helps the germination process. And also, it's not just the germination process. Probably the most important information is the information that is given from the seed to the human, and more importantly, the information, this sounds kind of bizarre, but the information from the human and the local human conditions, and indeed even the weaknesses of that human, gets transmuted or passed on to the seed itself, so that when the seed grows, it knows to grow with certain elements and certain field strengths to correspond with those weaknesses in the human. Maybe the human needed more magnesium or more calcium or some other trace element or something. And that seed now has that information, because it wants to help, it wants to be part of that, helping the humans elevate themselves and so on. That seed will change itself to adapt to the local conditions, meaning the humans and the soil and the air and everything else around it, to compensate. So it used to be a standard practice in the old days of growing gardens and that kind of thing. I was part of a garden group, and that's what I was taught to do at that time. You put the seeds in your mouth, or at least spit into the hole where the seeds go. And that helps with that process of adapting to the local conditions. Somewhere I've got a picture of the ones that are treated by chemicals. Let me see if I can find that before we go here. Yeah, there we go. By comparison, here's some of the chemically treated seeds. They look like a fried turkey, kind of, compared to the other seeds, which have their life, their little hairs and so on are still on the other seeds, but the ones that are chemically treated are stripped of that. And part of it is they don't want the seeds to be edible for birds and other things that might eat the seeds. So they treat them in such a way that they're almost inert, practically dead, so that birds, they won't be edible for birds. The other seeds would be edible, but because they've been already given a boost in germination by putting them in the mouth and putting them right in the ground, they won't necessarily be picked up by the birds and so on. Or you find a way to adapt and live with birds, and part of your crop goes to the birds, and you're thankful that you have birds. In any case, it's quite
right.
a comparison.
The other seeds look like they can go either way, to life or to just fade out and expire when they're treated with the chemicals. And of course, maybe they say it's for the birds, but if you're having a percentage of the seeds that will not germinate, therefore the farmer to plant, I think Gianni said they used 30 tons of seed on 67 hectares. So if you have a percentage of the seeds that won't germinate, that means the farmer has to buy more seeds, doesn't he?
And a lot of the seeds are treated in such a way that they require certain fertilizers and certain pesticides and herbicides and everything else in order to grow properly. And that's part of the system that you buy into as a farmer, and that's what can bankrupt a lot of farmers and lead them to suicide, which is a really big issue for farmers, well, all over the world, actually. But
Mr. Keshe brought that up about India maybe a year ago or so. That was the number one reason for suicide, at least to the farmers, is that they farmed an entire year but yet couldn't eke out any sort of profit, or a very tiny profit. And so they take their own lives, many of them.
Same in China. We've heard stories of China farmers are in the same predicament, and where they've been asked to increase their production 3 and 4 times and so on, and they're stressed out because they put everything into it, and all their money goes into paying for seed and fertilizer and so on. Now the fertilizer prices have doubled and tripled worldwide, and that's putting a lot of stress on those same farmers. So this is where they can start to get a break with the plasma technology. Helps not only with the bottom line of the economics of it, but actually helps with the emotional aspects as well. Imagine, Johnny, there's images that we looked at in the plasma reactor group of the farmers putting their hands in the seeds that are falling from the what do you call it, the conveyor belt, and they dump it into a bag, and they're handling the seeds. They let it fall through their hands, and they grab a handful, and Johnny eats a little bit and or puts it in his mouth at least, and so on. And they're saying they couldn't do that with the chemically treated seeds because the chemicals would get on your hands and you'd be screwed, basically. You get sick because they put pesticides and that kind of thing on the seeds to make sure that pests don't eat the seeds. So it's quite an unappetizing package that they put together in terms of a seed. Imagine being a newborn seed, you're about to give life to this plant, and yet you've had all of your attributes, your beauties, basically, your essence has been robbed in order to make you so you're no longer attractive to birds and fungus and virtually everything that would be natural to a seed. It's natural for the unhealthy seeds to succumb to fungus and diseases and that kind of thing. But a good healthy seed shouldn't have those issues, and the seed should be protected by the farmer so it doesn't get eaten by the birds and gets in the ground and watered and all that kind of thing. That's why God made scarecrows to keep the birds away.
The farmers were having to wear equipment and everything when they, I guess, planted these seeds with the machine or the spreader. The machines were, and I don't get the connection between, he said once they stopped using the chemically treated seeds, the machines didn't break down infrequently or not at all, I think he said.
Once they started using the GANs treated, not chemically treated, but GANs treated, just to be clear. But the chemical treated seeds, they said, kind of gummed up the machinery as well. It didn't allow the flow so well. They had more issues with the equipment.
Right, and then we had the well that was treated with the plasma water where the workers were buying their water bottled in town, and now they're drinking from the well. It tastes better than the water from town and the bottled water, he was saying. So it's been a win-win for the environment, for the farmer, for the yield, for the birds, for the whole structure.
And Mark, what's so beautiful about this is that it's free. It's technology that's given freely. There is no the cost of the knowledge is given completely unconditionally. So the only cost is compared to conventional, a very small outlay for some very basic materials that when you put them together and produce the plasma waters, you can enhance your lands and your environment greatly with very little. So that's a very big bonus for this technology being brought forward into the farming communities, because there is the cost is very, very dramatically smaller than conventionally spraying and using chemicals. Significantly smaller in the output that you would put forward as in a cost.
Mulțumim Laurențiu și Mihaela. Wow. Pune-l tot.
They've treated a number of wells in this same manner.
Mulțumim.
And often just one or two treatments is enough to make the water drinkable, which is amazing.
Toată apa din fântână e restructurată. De aici înainte, tot ce uzi, mă refer că acum e prima dată când punem aici, da?
Nu, am mai pus o dată ce mi-ai dat
atunci, cantitatea
ce
da?
mi-ai zis, da.
Deci asta, acum cum vine, care are o altă intensitate față de primul care l-am adus, rezolvă și problema cu fierul care zici și celelalte și asta o să o vedem în ziua următoare. De fapt, deja...
Eu am văzut, când am măsurat TDS-ul, înainte de a turna, în fântână, era 340. Și după ce, a doua zi, după ce am turnat ăsta, s-a dus la 250.
Da, și fain, în cazul ăsta, facem o măsurătoare mâine dimineața și vedem cât... Asta înseamnă că deja a acționat și particulele cu încărcătura care erau, de fapt, ele s-au lăsat la fund. Înțelegi? Și chiar mergem și mai încolo.
Uite, vezi că și pe piatră e maro de la fier. O fi vreun tank rusesc, eu știu, pe aici.
Nu, e vorba de zăcăminte care conțin fier. Dar asta o rezolvăm și într-un moment, spre final așa, o să luăm o probă și de jos. Știi că sunt niște chestii cu care poți să iei probă de adâncime.
Da?
Da, și atunci băgăm, e ca un fel de chestie care o baci și o deschizi și apă de acolo din zona adâncimii, ca să putem să facem o analiză, că sunt curios să vedem ce este jos în raport cu ce este sus.
Ce e sus, da.
Absolut.
Da.
Mulțumim.
No idea what they were saying with all that, but in any case, yeah, there's a number of videos. We went through a lot of videos and so on. I actually am having trouble finding them right now. So, but people can refer. I'll put a link up to where you can go to the Keshe Plasma Reactor group, where we spent probably an hour or two, more than an hour, probably two, going through Johnny's videos and testimonial about the growing of the wheat. And I've got a link to that.
I think that's his first point of contact when he gets there. Take me to your well. And that's where it all begins, I think. Whether it was on the cattle farm or on the wheat farm or so on.
Yeah, Johnny's doing lots of good work in the background here and foreground as well. Building domes with nano-coated wood and GANs covered stuff and different agricultural projects and whatnot. He's got a lot on the go.
And of course, all the smaller domes that we're all creating with the spraying and the releasing and so on are eventually going to link up, or maybe they already have linked up, or perhaps linking up in a stronger manner. Perhaps maybe other conditions will be introduced to allow them to link up, but they're already in position and ready to do a further or a stronger linking. Again, just thinking.
See if I can get a video up here that's, whoops, what happened? Show a couple of videos of Johnny and the farmer that he works with doing their thing. They're working with massive amounts of materials, of course.
Cât a mai rămas acolo? Ai gata aici?
Da?
Ah.
Mi-am o bucată mai la vale și mergem la altă bucătă.
În sus, nu? Păi mașina atunci au luat tot aici. Și vin cu tine în tractor. Da, eu n-am teamă, nu mi-e teamă.
And another part of the process.
Cum îl simți? Răcoros așa, dar... Laurențiu, uită-te așa către soare, prin cum curge el. Uită-te așa în direcția aia. Nu direct la soare, înspre. Să vezi ce...
Kind of a classic shot here with the smile on the farmer's face, and they've been dipping their hands into the seeds, which you can't do with the chemical treated seeds, apparently. So they're having good progress with that, and we'll get more reports in the future, no doubt. Got another picture that's similar. It's basically the same with the... It just shows how they work with the seeds here, so I'll show that as well.
Da, uite, așa văd, acum văd și eu în altă poziție, văd.
A? Ce zici?
Ies, dă mai mult de 3 ori, ies. Are o bucată de iarbă, dacă iese cu discul. Și asta, da, dă de 3 ori și ies.
Ăsta e greul care poți să-l gusti direct acum, da?
Da, eu am gustat acum.
Da. No comment.
That's Gianni trying a few seeds. I think that's lunch.
And certainly elevating for the farmers and the workers. Like going into a toxic environment, you know that is not really healthy for you, but you have to do it for the to be a farmer. And now they can really enjoy the farming world a little bit more, or maybe a lot more.
Yeah,
the yield has increased.
Johnny was saying the farmer was so happy, he just stayed out in the field past dark and was, happily plowing away or whatever he was doing. Yeah. And here we see the addition of the GANS water into the seeds. And that's essentially like the addition of putting the seeds in your mouth process, seeing that the GANS has that connection. Our saliva is GANS material, and the GANS itself acts as the same effects. So they add it to the seeds before they take it out to the actual field to plant it.
And do you remember the drop in inputs or the fertilizer? I think he mentioned that, but I can't remember exactly what, because not only are the seeds chemically treated, the farmer was also applying fertilizers and pesticides, I believe, right? So was it in the area of $100,000? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So that's quite exciting, having a little bit more funds in the bank for other issues than starting off or having to borrow and pay interest to even to buy the additional inputs needed.
Well, that's right. It's a lot less stressful for the farmer because everything's handled through the preparation and not afterwards so much. You don't have to deal with all the effects.
And I believe it was double the production, at least. I think that's what he had indicated, but I can't remember for certain.
Okay, so like I mentioned, we went into that topic quite exhaustively in the Keshe Plasma Reactor Group, and we might touch on it again in the one coming up in a couple of days here as well. Johnny's very generous in his sharing, so it's part of what we do in that group. Okay. All right, any other comments or questions or anything else before we wrap here? Well, we could certainly go on for several days probably with testimonials here with them all lined up. But we'll save a bunch for the next testimonials group. And in the meantime, I'm sure we'll have a whole bunch more as well. So this is great because there was often times when we had a hard time coming up with testimonials in the testimonials group for whatever reason. And now there's plenty to pick from, and I'm very appreciative of that, and many thanks especially to the Brazilian team for all their contributions and hard work that goes into producing these testimonials, making them available in at least 2 languages. All right, if there's no further ado, then I think it's time for lunch for me. Do I hear a microphone?
Hello, Rick.
Hello, hello.
That's Jefferson again.
Yes.
I sent for you a small video that I think is interesting because it's a kind of testimonial of this plasma. I just sent it to your Telegram. If you can play, can explain what happened. If you think it's can be done today or next time.
Sure, I can play that now. It's not very long.
No, that's not long. It's around 40 seconds.
Set us up on this a little bit. Tell us something about it, or shall I just play it?
Oh, it's just the video. I don't know if something is written there because I had posted it in our group, and I just share with you.
Okay, and I will share it. Here we go. Bug preening.
Yes, just let me explain what happened. I was sitting one of the Sunday after spraying for Peace Dome. I just was sitting in a garden, and this insect just fell down in my leg, and it was dying. It was just crippled, and just I said, "Oh, it's not going to be good." So I didn't want to spray direct into it. So I sprayed in the plasma water in the leaf, and I put this little insect over it. And then suddenly it starts to take a shower. As you could see, it starts to clean the antenna, the head, everything. It starts to drink the water. And after a few seconds, it just recomposed itself and flew away. So this technology, and with our intention and really to help, it's amazing, just instantly. And that's what I'd like to share before finishing this wonderful testimonials of today.
That was perfect. Very perfect. Thank you very much, Jefferson. Yeah, imagine this little bug flies away and tells all of its bug friends, and they spread the knowledge another way.
Yes, probably it took like a cosmic ray. Everything in plasma is within a cosmic ray, and outside as well, as I understood. But I'd like to share with all because I think it's very interesting. If you can play it again, now the people understand what happened. It was dying. You see that when it fell down and was with the legs upside up, upwards, so could not believe it. That's interesting. Thank you.
Beautiful, Jefferson. That's very. You probably know I had a similar experience a little while ago with a bee. So we know our animal friends love the plasma waters, and they do, obviously, for a creature that's to us physically this small, but when you give it the plasma waters, you're giving it a very big amount of field strength for it to recover from. So, and with your intentions to help, you're giving to those waters, you turn it into a very beautiful tool for this being, this soul, to receive what it needs to bring it back to balance. So wonderful, Jefferson. Beautiful. Nice story. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Dean. I think when I said, oh, let's see what happens, I didn't want to spray the water directly. Could I broke his wing or maybe. So I put into the leaf. It was immediately. It just started to, I put in the camera and I increased the zoom a little bit so I could see what was going on. And I saw it, it was very happy doing that. And so that's it. It's amazing. Thank you.
What was
everyone?
the,
Amazing. Yeah, it is amazing. Yeah.
What was the background sound, Jefferson? That strange kind of.
Yeah, it's the place where I was. That's the sound that was at the time. Probably from the, I could not listen to it as well, or either. But I think it's from the maybe from the buildings around. There are those system for exhausting gas from the building, garages from the building, you know.
Some kind of
Probably.
resonance from some fans or something.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was very nice.
It is.
I think
it's interesting. It's
universal
otherworldly.
sound, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, that's very nice.
All right, very good. Thank you. Fitting in to our show today. And I think we've come to the end of our show today, unless there's any further adieus. All right, sounds good. Time for lunch anyway. Thank you everyone for participating in today's 72nd public meeting for testimonials here, Monday, November 14th, 2022. Our next testimonials will be in December already, the last month of the year. And it will be on the second Monday of December, which is the 12th of December next time around. So gather up your testimonials and have them ready to go. And we already have a depository or repository or whatever they call it of testimonials to draw from, which is excellent. So we'll have another great show next time around. Thank you everyone for helping with that. Now, I think, what else do we have? We have the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for Justice and World Peace. That comes up tomorrow, November 15th. And that starts at 4 p.m. Central European Time on the usual channels. So we look forward to hearing from members of the Universal Council. And the public is welcome to bring their challenges and questions for members of the Universal Council to solve in a soul-based manner. Okay, and I think that's all I can think of for now. So I'm going to go out with the Spaceship Unit music version. Kick up a little sound. And once again, thank you everybody for attending today's workshop. See you all in the next public teaching workshop. Okay, bye for now.